down, baby.
Hello and welcome to Southend's Guildhall for Week 8 of the PartyPoker.com Snooker Premier League live in glorious high definition. 10 of the world's best players chosen for this year's event, and this is them. The Rocket and defending champion Ronnie O'Sullivan, Mark Williams, John Higgins, Ding Junhui, Neil Robertson, Ali Carter, Sean Murphy, Judd Trump, Matthew Stevens, and of course the whirlwind, Jimmy White. 4 in action tonight. This is how they line up for the semi-finals. The Rocket, Ronnie O'Sullivan, against Judd Trump, unbeaten so far in this season's Premier League. And our second semi-final is Ding Junhui against Neil Robertson. And obviously we have a final a bit later on. Hello, good to see you. I think it's fair to say that when the fixture list was announced for this year's Premier League, this was the one everyone wanted to see. The Rocket, Ronnie O'Sullivan, defending champion, against the new boy in town, Judd Trump. Former world number 6, Mike Hallett, joins me now. We often use the phrase mouth-watering tie. On paper, this really could be one to remember, couldn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Packed house, as usual, great atmosphere, and I'm sure these lads have performed for us here this evening. Can't get better than this, can it? Judd Trump against Ronnie O'Sullivan, former world champion Neil Robertson against Ding Junhui. So, great night.
It's a big night for Ronnie as well, defending champion. We've changed the format slightly this year. I don't know if it's affected him or not, but if you have a look at the league table, I wouldn't say alarm bells yet for Ronnie, but he's way down in 7th place, played 2 matches, just on 8 points, which isn't too bad at the moment, but the top 4 seem to be running away with it tonight, and if Judd Trump wins his semi-final or even gets 2 frames, it really puts his chances of getting to the last 4 in high esteem. But the Rocket, Ronnie O'Sullivan, he needs to win tonight, he needs to do well in the final, and he needs to do well against Jimmy in his last match.
Well, as you just said, Andy, it's unthinkable that Ronnie wouldn't be in the last 4 of this competition. It's been his own, really, over the last 6 or 7 years. So he's got a bit to do, and he's got a tough nut to crack here in Judd Trump.
The other semi-final as well, let's not forget that one, Neil Robertson, who on his day, we've seen him a few times in the Premier League, produced the goods against Ding Junhui, who hasn't really produced the sort of form that we know Ding can yet.
Yeah, I think Ding, by his own admission, says he's not played as well this year as he did last. But we know that Neil's back to good form. He won in Killarney last week in the PTC, beat Judd in the final there. Neil is just about back to his best form. He's really hitting the ball well. So Ding, again, has his work on this evening.
Let's have a look at who the bookies fancy for tonight. It's very rare that they are wrong. They fancy the Rocket 6-4, and you have to put 6 on to win 4. Judd Trump 6-5 against, and the second semi-final a lot more difficult to predict the winner. Ding Junhui 11-10, Neil Robertson 6-5. I'll ask you about the second one first because the bookies think that's the toughest to call. Who do you think's going to win that one?
I think Neil will win that one. I think, like I just said, I think he's back to just about back to his best form, and he's hitting the ball well. So, but you know, the thing, it's a different day. You never know. But what I saw last week in Ireland, I thought he's playing well again.
Okay, and Judd against Ronnie. Now, is there the possibility that Judd might be going into this game slightly more relaxed than perhaps he would have done if he was lower down the league table? He's top at the moment, he's yet to lose.
Well, he's come in late, hasn't he, into this competition? Players have played 2 or 3 matches before he actually came in. But when he has come in, he's done really, really well. And we see him at the top of the league. So, and he's finding his feet, and he's full of confidence. So, one to look forward to.
One name tonight, Mike. Who's going to win it?
Well, I think it could be Judd and Neil in the final, and I think I'll just plump for Neil.
Yeah? You keep changing it every minute we do this. You're going for Neil Robertson. OK, well, it's going to be interesting. A great night, snooker, ahead of us. Time to meet the players, as always, introduced by our wonderful MC, Mr. John McDonald. And first up is Judd Trump.
Thank
you and a very warm welcome. We're coming to you live from the Guildhall, Southampton. It's the PartyPoker.com Premier League Snooker, brought to you by Matchroom Sport. We are live on Sky Sports HD. Best of 5 frames. Referee in charge of the action is Mr. Paul Collier. It's now time to meet our players. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome from Bristol, he's the former world finalist, 22 years old, the sensational Judd.
Judd Trump, wonderful to see you. Firstly, how are you feeling? I know you're a bit under the weather. How are you feeling at the moment?
Not too bad. It's been a tough week, but I'm just about getting through it.
Is it just man flu that you have?
I hope so.
Let me just move back slightly. Hey, listen, what a wonderful position you're in at the moment, because give or take, we estimate you need 2 frames from your last 2 matches. You've got Ronnie tonight. You could have a final after that, obviously, tonight. And then Sean Murphy in your last week. Things are looking good for you to get into the last 4.
Yeah, it's been good so far, but obviously every game is tough. And whoever wins the first frame, I think, is the favourite. So it can be 3-0 either way, I think.
Do you fancy your chances to win it this year? And if the answer is yes or no, has that changed from when you first played in the Premier League this season?
I always fancy winning it. I fancy winning every tournament I go in. But obviously the standard's so tough nowadays that you can lose to anyone, and I think that shows now. More or less every tournament there's a different winner.
You play a very similar game to your opponent tonight. Was he your idol when you were growing up?
Yeah, he still is.
Is it weird for you when you're playing someone like that? Do you sit down and watch him go around the table as if you're a fan watching him sat out there?
Not really. I just, whoever I'm playing, you obviously still try and learn off them, and it's like, no matter how old you get, you're always learning off different players.
Your first big win, I think I'm right in saying, your first big win as a pro was against Ronnie in the Grand Prix. That sort of, made people aware of who you are. You fancy another one tonight?
I hope so.
It's going to be a good game. All the best. Judd Trump, everyone. Thanks, Judd. Judd's opponent is the Rocket.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to meet the reigning and defending Premier League champion, 3 times champion of the world, the Rocket, Ronnie.
You've won 2 PTCs this season, which are sort of the smaller ranking events, if you like, in the snooker calendar. You seem more committed as a player this year than you did last year. Does the idea of dropping out the top 16 worry you at all, Ron?
It did cross my mind, but you just have to learn to accept it, and it could be a probability that I might have to qualify for the World Championships this year. But challenges are challenges. Judd got to the finals of qualifier last year, so why can't I qualify and still do well in these events?
Tough game for you tonight against Judd Trump. Do you see a lot of yourself in him?
I think he's more attacking than me, a better putter than I ever was, probably as good as anybody there ever has been at putting balls, and he's good around the ball, so he's definitely one of the top players now.
How far, without putting too much pressure on him, how far do you think he can go? How many World Championships do you think he can win, Ron?
Listen, he's got you just want to win one first. Once you win one, then obviously the second, thirds, and I haven't got past 3, so I wouldn't know. But the second and third were easier because you kind of broke that thing. But obviously, just one should be the target for now, and then obviously after that, then get your calculator out.
And how far can you go, Ronnie? What's left for you? Because does someone like Judd coming on the scene spur you on a bit more?
Yeah, listen, he's young, and there's a lot of young players around there, so obviously it's not getting any easier for me. But I'm just enjoying competing, and if I can, hopefully get 1 or 2 tournaments left in big tournaments in me, that'd be nice. If not, then just keep enjoying playing, really.
Best of luck. The Rocket, Ronnie O'Sullivan, everyone. I cannot wait for this one to begin. Let's join our boys in the box, Mike Hallett and the wonderful Clive Everton.
Verily, I believe that this
Judd,
could be the match of the tournament, certainly of the pre-playoff phase. Table-topping Judd Trump versus the king of the shot clock.
The first frame, Judd Trump to break.
Well, I've taken Judd for this first semi-final here, Clive, but I saw Ronnie in the players' lounge upstairs just before he came out, and he looked very focused, kept himself to himself, and he really is up for this one this evening. He knows he's got to play well. He is under it, there's no doubt about that, and again, it would be unthinkable if he didn't make the last four.
Well, above all, O'Sullivan doesn't want to lose heavily, because then he would have possibly too much to do in his last Premier League evening at Grimsby in 2 weeks' time.
But how often do we see these great stars when they've got the back to the wall that they produce? Ronnie has to do that here this evening.
We hear the beeps for the first time, which signify that a player has only got 5 seconds left of his allotted 20 seconds per shot. The time limit puts pressure on the player to select his shot quickly.
Yeah, they're going to have to be careful as well. Just look at the reds, they're well spread if either player gets a chance. Packed house here at the Guildhall in Southampton, great atmosphere, and this is what these lads like. They can build themselves.
Time extension.
Trump, early in the frame, takes advantage of one of the 2 20-second time extensions he's permitted in each frame. Achieved exactly what he set out to do there. Screwed the cue ball back to the board cushion. Used the second red as a stopper for the first red.
Good pace there. He might be forced into this one. Oh, he's just pulling the white to the top cushion. Not bad. Well, this could have left this red to the left middle. It's an acute angle, but I think Judd's looking at the one near the pink, I think. He's taking this one onto the top cushion, top pocket. So Judd draws first blood then. Plenty of reds on.
You heard Trump emphasising the importance of the first frame in the pre-match interview.
3.
This is his chance to make an impact on it.
4.
Well, the black will go to this left corner, so if Judd can just get high enough from this red,
10.
he should be able to move 1 or 2 of these reds away from the black spot. Pink available to the middle as well.
11.
Should take the black. I think the black will go actually to the other corner. But of course, it just needs
18.
to open up this end of the table. And this is a good scoring
19.
chance.
Trump is up to 7th in the world rankings.
26.
And obviously has the potential to rise even higher.
27.
A bit of a spell about 12 months ago, Clive, but just sort of lost his way a little bit, didn't he? He seems to have got his enthusiasm back now. He's working as hard as ever, and he's as confident as ever.
33.
And of course he ended last season in
34.
spectacular fashion, winning the China Open and reaching the final of the World Championship at the Crucible.
Yeah, I think one shot there turned it around, that blue. I think it was 12-9 against John Higgins there. He could have been left in that world title. As it was, we know that the champion, true champion that John Higgins was, came back very strong indeed.
42.
Yes, 18-15 Higgins won. So this is what happens
49.
if you make a safety mistake against Trump.
50.
Sullivan left a none too difficult opening red from distance, and Trump has been at the table ever since.
Well, it's not bad. He's notched 2 or 3 reds there, but I think he's still got one here
57.
to the right corner. Plenty of room there. Stun off side and top cushions. Or just the side then, but he's still on the black.
58.
Lost in the final to Neil Robertson, of course, Clive, Judd, a few days ago in Killarney, but didn't play at his best in that final, but he did play well to get there.
66.
Quite right, Mike. The final was disfigured by a very large number of kicks, and it was just a case of making the best of it, which Robertson did somewhat the better.
73. .74.
So one chance is all that Trump has needed to clinch the opening frame.
.81. .82.
Already at the age of 22, Trump has recorded 124 centuries in professional competition.
And this looks perfect. Great shot.
89.
Absolutely to the inch.
And facilitated by the green not being on its spot.
90.
Well, a wonderful start here for Judd Trump. Wonderful start for us.
96. 97.
Well, there's a century, possible 139 on here. And that would set the target for the evening. The highest break, of course, during the evening, gets £1,000. Well, he needs that to bounce a little, though. He might have to play the pink here. Well, he could still play the black, but he's got to miss the brown. It's a great shot. He's played on the yellow to the centre pocket. It looks pretty good.
112.
Well, what a great start here from the young man.
114.
He's about to set a stern target for the
117.
evening's £1,000 highest break prize.
Yes, and not the start that Ronnie was looking for either.
121. 126.
O'Sullivan made just one mistake.
$132.
And from that mistake, Judd Trump made a total clearance of 139 to lead by a frame to nil. What a start! Judd Trump's 139 total clearance has given him a 1-0 lead over Ronnie O'Sullivan. The second of the evening's semi-finals is Junhui versus Neil Robertson.
The second frame. Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
Encouraging applause from O'Sullivan. I think this crowd would love to see both players playing at top form.
Well, that was very close. It wasn't a great break or shot for Ronnie, to be honest. I thought he might play the red to the middle, but chose to take it to the corner, but so close. This looks good. And to go off the side cushion here. Well, that looks a bit high. It seems okay. Perfect weight. I'm just going to flick off these, go around the angles with the cue ball. Well, just look at that. I'm not whether Ronnie can see the right-hand side of the pack. As we can see, I don't think so. That's why he's choosing to come off the side cushion. Got to be careful he doesn't just glance off them here, leave one on. I think he's okay. It's not touching, but there's a couple of ways that Judd can play this. Played up with a lot of left-hand side, check side, just to square up the cue ball, but he's come down the table. He's left this red on to the right corner. Don't be surprised if this goes in. He's in the mood.
So that's the second long red that Trump has wobbled in this second frame.
Yeah, I expect him to get that one. That was a little bit easier than the last. Chance here for Ronnie though, although this one isn't easy. As we saw, he's had to sit out the last frame, and with that red catching the blue, he's left the red on. That wasn't too close.
No, not as reliable at middle and long distance as he used to be. But fortunately for him, Trump misses the cut to middle.
Played that well. Well judged with the side there. And he avoided the pink twice on the way down and on the way back. I know we've built this match up, Clive, but I mean, if these two lads play at the top of their game, it's going to be a fascinating match between these two, and cracking start from Judd Trump in that opener.
This is a frame that is very important for O'Sullivan to win, because if he went 2-0 down in a best of 5, he couldn't win without the aid of a 10-minute shootout in the 5th frame decider.
And he's played another loose one there. Another chance for Judd Trump. Well, hang on. Well, this is just about the best chance that Ronnie has had so far.
Yes, Trump has missed 3 times from distance.
Well, he's got to make the most of this opportunity. No good. Chose to try and break a few up, but the cue ball stuck a little bit. He needed more backspin on that cue ball. I think he's just playing the safety, too risky for the cross double.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 8.
Better pace this time, but he's still left this red to the left centre. Good shot. Could have done with just catching that middle knuckle there.
1.
But he has the green. Yes, that was always on. Ronnie didn't quite cover that one. And it looks like he's got just about enough angle to get close to these reds as Judd takes a time extension. Well, there's the extensions used in the match so far. 2 allowed per frame. Well, he's
blue ball.
Playing the safety.
Judd Trump, 1.
Yes, he needed the extra time there to decide whether to play a very attacking shot or settle for what was certain to be a decent safety.
Yes, and Ronnie's got to avoid the pink on the left-hand side. He now has taken out a time extension. Just give himself some more thinking time. Might be looking just to try and get the white near this top cushion here. Well, he went for the pot. Wasn't too far away, but it's okay. It seems okay. Although the red, as we watch the replay, he definitely went for that. There's the red just beyond the black here, which I think is cuttable. Oh.
So that's Trump's 4th chance in this frame gone west.
Amazing, considering the first frame. Well, that's no good to him.
1.
I don't know. Can he cut this yellow back? Possibly, but he's got to just make sure he avoids the middle pocket here with the cue ball. Doesn't like it.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 1.
Well, he's prepared to wait. Well, he's underhit that by a long way.
Foul and a miss. Ronnie O'Sullivan, 4. Back.
Yeah, he was up off that shot pretty quickly there. I think he knew straight away he hadn't hit it hard enough, so same angle, just more weight. Well, that's great judgment. Now, has Ronnie found a plant to the left middle? Possibly. He's taking it on.
And now he's in round the black for the second time in the frame. It's not often when he gets round the black that he needs more than one chance.
Yeah, a little bit unfortunate for Judd there to leave the red in that position to allow Ronnie to take the plant on, but again, as you say, Clive, it's one of those he's got to score heavily here.
Nine.
We keep mentioning that if Ronnie doesn't get anything out of this evening's fixture, then there's a possibility he might not make the semi-finals.
16.
Just shows you the strength and depth in our game now with the talent around, Clive. No easy matches anymore.
The playoffs are at Potters, Hopton-on-Sea, in the last weekend of November.
25.
He's underhit that because I think Ronnie thought that blue was on its own spot. It's not actually, so he's not on the blue correctly. He's having to take the brown. He's gone to try and split them, but he's got to be lucky. Now he's on anything here.
29.
Could be one to the right centre. Can he kick this one in with side? Yes, he could. Just enough right on
30.
side on the cue ball there. Very good shot.
$37. $38.
A little bit straighter than he wanted, really. Have to play this red down the cushion.
$45.
Nicely done. He's got a better angle
46.
now to split these four reds. If he just catches the middle of those two that are open, that'd be perfect. And he has done. A little bit unfortunate there. That could have finished better.
53.
Needs one more red to secure the frame. And it's not an easy one.
Oh, he's got a kick. He's got a very heavy contact there.
53.
Massive kick.
Well, very unlucky. The red straightened up.
1.
Trump could win with a clearance if he takes mostly blacks with the remaining reds.
Well, on the replay there, Clive, it didn't look like the red bounced, but it sounded very heavy. It sounded clunky.
Yes, and of course the cue ball finished in the middle of the table, not on a colour. That was another telltale piece of evidence.
Yes, the white didn't throw its natural angle. It did bounce. There was a small bounce there. It could cost him this second frame.
16. $17. $24. Judd Trump 24.
Well, human error. I didn't detect any kick there.
What a chance that was to really put the pressure on Ronnie. And again, he hasn't played too good a safety there. Although he's got the white to the back cushion, this red is on.
When Trump missed the red, though, he was lucky not to leave it.
Oh, dear me. Well, he hasn't got the position on the black, but he's brought the other red into play, and the yellow pots. What a bonus.
Yes, he's not on the black, though.
Time extension.
Of course, he needs a high value colour.
Looks as if he's got to risk a double on the pink.
This is all or nothing. If the blue passed the yellow, he might take that on. He's going for the cross double. He's going for the frame here. Too wide. Well, oh, hang on, hang on, hang on. Oh, now the only thing is, the pink respots. Is he snookered? But what a fluke.
2 flukes in 2 shots.
Well, that's bad positional play, Clive, in my opinion. He might swerve around this pink and pop the red, but what a fluke on the pink. Oh, he's got too much on it. Well, it's frame over now.
This is the sort of frame ball everybody wants.
Well, that would have been unbelievable if he'd pinched the frame that way. Well, Ronnie will be mightily relieved here. 2-0 behind. He would have had everything to do here this evening. He can build from this position.
8.
It would have been a bit cruel if O'Sullivan had lost this frame, because he was within a ball of winning it.
13.
When he had an absolutely unforeseeable kick.
17. $22.
So after a few alarms, Ronnie O'Sullivan clinches the second frame and levels the match at 1-all.
Okay.
Tickets are available.
Thank you. The third frame. Judd Trump to break.
The East of England Showground is the venue.
I think he might take this on. Well, it was closer the second time, but it's still not quite there yet. He'd be mighty relieved he's won that second frame, of course. Oh, this is not easy. Well, he's playing the safety. I thought he was taking the pot on.
O'Sullivan is 36 years of age next month, and it has dawned on him that he's got to make the best of the remaining years of his career when he's at or near the top.
This is looking good behind the brown.
That's a great shot. And I think he's got Ron snooking on all of these reds here. Yes, he has. So just off the side cushion, lots of left-hand side with a little bit of swerve around the yellow as well. Has he caught the pink? That's okay. Well, Judd could have done with a touching ball there. That was well judged from Ronnie there. Oh, we could be heading for a re-rack if neither player can get the white away from these reds. I think he might have left one on here. Well, there you go. Ronnie had a quick look at that when he played the safety, and he thought he just grimaced a bit because he left at half chance, and that was a good pot from Judd Trump.
I can understand O'Sullivan wanting to get on with the frame, but he was just that little bit careless with that safety.
7.
Might cost him.
8.
Fair enough that O'Sullivan didn't want to play half a dozen tip-taps, and his opponent likewise. But it looks as if he's opened up the
15.
game more quickly than he should have done.
16.
Now, does this pink go? And if not, he'll have to take the blue. I think it does. It's like topspin. He's trying to split the reds here. That could have finished better. And the only red I can see here is the one to the yellow pocket. No, he's walked away from it.
Judd Trump 22.
I think he's covered that red with the brown though. Well, that was tough to take on. He was covering everything on that side with the pack, but I think he's left the one there down near the green pocket. Although, has Judd got anything at this end of the table? No, he's looking at the one down the table.
Didn't like the cut, preferred the safety.
Well, that's a good shot. He's got the white tight to the cushion. He's covered the one over the left corner. Ronnie in a little bit of trouble here. He's got to avoid reds on the way back. Well, that's a great shot.
O'Sullivan's got a lot of craft. Not many players have got a better safety game than he has. And as his career's gone on, he's needed it more.
Now this time, I don't think he has covered this red over the left corner.
%89 of O'Sullivan's safeties have prevented Trump from potting a ball.
One.
Blue might split the black and pink here. That's okay. Plenty of reds on there. What a chance this is.
6.
And when that first frame was played, Clive, 139 from Judd, I thought, well, here we go. And all of a sudden, Ronnie's got a new lease of life now.
7.
Well, O'Sullivan didn't lose the frame by playing badly. Just one safety that went wrong, and that was it.
$12. $13.
It pinged off that side cushion.
Just as well he's got a red hanging over a pocket if all else fails. But he could still cue properly.
20.
Might have left red to left corner, but decided to
21.
get rid of the one over the pocket, which of course unblocks the pocket for the black. $28. 29. $36. 37. Positional cannon.
Well, expect him to win the frame from here.
44.
Plenty of reds in the open to leave Judd needing snookers.
45.
Just screw behind these two reds into the same corner.
$52. 53.
Well, a little bit short of pace there. You want to be higher at the table. He's not quite
59.
over the line in this one yet. And again, a good cannon for position.
60.
That could have gone wrong. He played it well. So this red is now frame ball.
66.
And having sat out the opener with that
67.
terrific century from Judd, Ronnie's come back strong here.
Yes, he's over the line for a 2-1 lead.
Well, we thought this would be a cracker, Clive. It's turning out that way at
73.
the moment.
74.
And as O'Sullivan captures this frame, it means that Trump can't win this match without the aid of prevailing in a fifth frame 10-minute
81.
shootout.
82.
Well, a possible 2 centuries in 3 frames here. Oh, we need that to run on. Oh, it'll be good from here.
89.
That was nearly a bit of genius there.
Yeah, not too bothered about the century though. 89 did the job just as well. O'Sullivan leads by 2 frames to 1. Best of 5 frames, first semi-final. Ronnie O'Sullivan leads Judd Trump by 2 frames to 1. Also, big match coming up in the second semi-final. Ding Junhui of China versus Neil Robertson, the 2010 world champion.
Okay, Ronnie. Thank you. The fourth frame. Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
Well, clearly plenty of support for Ronnie.
Well, I think most snooker followers would say the playoffs wouldn't be quite the same if O'Sullivan wasn't in them, and he certainly made a good start towards ensuring that.
I agree with that. But he's got to try and put the finishing touches to this semi-final.
And he really would like to do it in this frame, because a 10-minute shootout is a very chancy affair.
Unlucky. Good cue ball though.
Trump hasn't done any potting from distance since the first frame.
Good safety there though. A little tempter for Ronnie. Well, two on this right hand side. He might be going for one of these. Big shot. Well, that was miles away. Has he got away with it? I think he has.
Well, O'Sullivan hasn't been doing much long potting either. So it's probably going to come down to who gets in close. Long pot success. O'Sullivan 50%, Trump 25%, which is nowhere near his norm. It's usually one of his strengths. I mean, 25% is only 1 in 4, 50% is only 2 in 4.
You can see enough of this one though. Great shot. He's played a dead weight to fall onto the black. That was great cueing from there.
Yes, tight on the rail.
Well, again, when these great stars have their backs to the wall, they come out fighting. I did fancy Judd tonight, but every credit to Ronnie O'Sullivan here.
8. Nine.
Yes, apart from his long potting, O'Sullivan has played to a high level.
$16. 17. 24. 25.
We just slightly finished the wrong side of the black, but able to play with the backspin and right and reverse
32.
side.
33.
5 reds and the 5th black coming up. There never has been a 147 under shot clock rules.
40.
Oh, he's got a massive kick.
41.
Massive kick. He's completely stopped the white.
Like hitting a rock, not a ball. Very, very frustrating.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 41.
Well, let's not forget that in the second frame he had a kick on that red which nearly cost him the second frame actually. He managed to win it. And again, as you say, Clive, so frustrating for a player through no fault of your own. The break breaks down.
could easily have developed into the match-winning break.
Again, Ronnie not quite getting the cue ball where it needed to be, and Judd has got a perfect angle on the blue here to screw into these reds, but that was still a great red. Blue. This frame could be all about this next shot. He's caught them well. That's okay. He has a red to the corner as we watch the replay.
6.
Where's that cue ball?
Foul.
That's not unlucky.
6, Ronnie O'Sullivan.
That's a very poor shot. Going off via one cushion. No unlucky kiss or anything like that.
It could cost him the frame and the match. If Ronnie can just pop this red in, get onto a colour, he's in a strong position.
Time extension.
I thought Sullivan was using up a bit of time doing a bit of gardening, removing foreign objects from the table. But he made the weight worthwhile.
No, it's not perfect. Yes, he's got the blue. Didn't put the red in the middle of the pocket, it was in the corner, but he's still taking this blue on. I don't think so.
Ronnie O'Sullivan 1.
Well, he's got a perfect angle on the pink to go into them here. This is a big shot. Well, actually, from that angle, it's a bit straight because the pink is off its own spot. I thought he was on its own spot. He's played a good one, though.
Seven. Eight.
But Trump has knocked another red safe to the side cushion.
$14. $15.
Well, he stayed with that one.
$21.
Would like to cannon a red away from the side cushion.
Well, there's one of them. Still got the problem, the one on the right cushion, as we see the replay. That was a great shot. Good play here. Oh, great shot again. We could be going into a decider here. This would be some finish in this frame.
28.
This is great stuff. He's put himself in a position to win the frame.
29.
Well, the way that Trump has developed the two safe reds into potable positions has been real class. He's done the difficult bit.
35.
He just needs to complete the job to level the match at 2-all.
Now, he can play right-handed.
Time
I've seen him play
extension.
one or two shots right-handed, Clive, but perhaps not at this juncture.
The strange thing is he uses the rest right-handed. Throws a dart right-handed.
$36.
Oh, this would be like a top checkout, wouldn't it, if he wins the frame from here? Just had enough angle to stay on the yellow, and then the green does pass the blue. Well, this will hurt Ronnie O'Sullivan. He had a chance here to clinch frame and match. He got that kick when he was in amongst them, which was not his fault. He still had a chance after that, but it looks like this one's gone away from him. We're going into a decider.
40.
Provided Trump clinches this frame, which he looks virtually certain to do, with brown, blue, pink, it would virtually assure him of his place in the playoffs.
And perhaps not for Ronnie. And of course he'd want to get Ronnie out of the way, wouldn't he? He would be a threat in the last 4.
47.
Still needs the pink here. He's played it well. He's played it very well.
52.
A bit more of a cut than he would prefer, but still a hot favourite to pot it.
Yeah, doesn't need the black to concentrate on the pot. I can't see him missing this. This has been a great break.
A top quality clearance of 64 from Judd Trump levels the match at 2-all. It's time for a shootout. Let's just confirm the rules. Only 10 minutes play. 20-second shot clock for the first 5 minutes, then down to 15 seconds for the last 5 minutes. On every shot, a ball must make contact with a cushion or be potted. All fouls penalised by the non-offender being able to place the ball wherever he likes for his own shot. No time extensions whatsoever. Now, this is how players have fared in the shootout. O'Sullivan played one, lost one. Trump yet to play, but I don't think that the rules will be a particular problem for either player. They're certainly as good as anyone when they have only a limited amount of time to play their shot. But O'Sullivan can look back on the last frame and count himself unlucky, but if he's an experienced match player, which he is, he won't be looking back on the last frame at all. He'll be looking forward to this one.
Foul his cue ball in hand. No time extensions.
No time extensions.
No, and it's 10 minutes for the whole frame, so whoever's in front after 10 minutes, that's it. 20 seconds for the first 5 minutes, 15 seconds. I'll tell you when it changes. Nearest to the cushion, okay?
Paul Collier just clarifying the rules with the players, who are now lagging for break. 2 cue balls in operation. Nearest to the ball cushion has the choice.
Well, Ronnie's won that one. It's his choice.
Thank you. Deciding frame under shootout rules. Ronnie O'Sullivan for break.
Well, here we go then. This could be a fascinating last frame here in this semi-final, first semi-final. Who do you fancy, Clive?
Well, Trump has got the momentum, but it's a toss-up, really. Still not having much joy with his long potting.
Foul. White anyway, Ronnie. Ronnie O'Sullivan, 4.
After any foul, the non-offender can place the cue ball wherever he likes, and that's one way to get in round the black.
He's placed it low, so he's potting this to split a few more reds and stay on the black. Let's not forget, a few weeks ago, Ali Carter forgot the rule against Ding Junhui in Stoke, and he had the ball in hand. The green passed the blue, he missed it. We kept reminding him of the fact. He said, "But I know the rule now." What about that then? When Judd's just not that green in.
Yeah, and of course the term ball in hand can be confusing because in hand usually
7.
means playing from the D.
And I think that's where Ali mixed up there, really.
8.
Well, got mixed up, I should say. But anyway, great chance here for Ronnie O'Sullivan. Big frame for him. Very clever, that opening red he played. He could have played the red down the table there, and probably played on the blue, but he chose to play that red near the pack and split more reds.
16.
So he's still thinking well.
I tell you what though, Mike, it's some penalty, isn't it? When you can put the ball wherever you like after your opponent has fouled.
Well, imagine, I mean, Judd had the first chance there. He went for that long red, but to see the green go in, and he got away with that until that green dropped into the middle pocket. It could cost him this match.
24.
These rules were trialled in the highly successful one-frame shootout at Blackpool Tower Circus back in January.
30.
Very successful event, which will again be seen on Sky in January.
Yes, might go into them here. Have you recovered from that one yet, Clive? Looking forward to it, aren't you?
37.
It was fast and furious.
O'Sullivan building up a big lead, and it's going to be even more difficult for Trump, even if he does get a chance to make a reply, because
you put that camera away, please.
He would be down to 15 seconds a shot.
40.
That's in the last 5 minutes of this 10-minute frame.
Well, we said that Ronnie had to come out and perform here this evening. He's certainly done that.
.46. .47.
Still needs 54. A couple of reds with blacks here, but he knows he's pretty much home and dry, as Clive has said. If Judd did get the chance, it's not the question of not 55. Enough points on the board. There's not enough time on the clock. But if he splits these well it's definitely all over. And that's the red to the centre. That's okay. And he's still at the table. That's the main
62.
thing.
Just a red and a colour leaves Trump needing snookers.
Well, you've got to feel for Judd Trump. I mean, he started so well this evening with that 139, but he went for that red, but to see the green going off in the middle, and that was it, ball in hand, well, what can he do? That's the rules, unfortunately.
70. 15 seconds a shot.
Not that it's going to make much difference to the outcome, because Trump already needs snookers.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 70.
And of course laying snookers takes time.
Time that Judd hasn't got. Wow, what can you say?
That is it. It came to a shootout, and O'Sullivan needed only one chance. He made a break of 70 and therefore defeats Judd Trump by 3 frames to 2 to go forward to this evening's final against either Neil Robertson or Junhui.
Welcome back to partypoker.com Snooker Premier League. Confirmation of semi-final number 1, and what a match it was. The Rocket Ronnie O'Sullivan beating Judd Trump by that odd frame, 3 frames to 2. As you can see, next up, Junhui against Neil Robertson. Which one of those will Ronnie play in tonight's final a bit later on? But that win for Ronnie, and let's not forget those 2 points for Judd Trump, mean that they are now 1 and 2 in the Premier League table. Judd Trump looks good for a semi-final place, as does the Rocket Ronnie O'Sullivan, who's with me now. Firstly, Ron, happy with your form tonight?
Yeah, it was all right. You know, Judd missed a couple of balls in amongst the balls. You know, I could have been, you know, easily out there tonight, but you know, thankfully I got another chance and was able to make a few.
Let's talk about the match, because it was wonderful to watch. I don't know what it was like for you to be sat out there. Great start for Judd, a 1-3-9 break. Then you took the next 2. Did you feel, I was watching it and felt that maybe you were under the impression, the illusion that you had a point to prove tonight? Was that the case?
No, I mean, I've got nothing to prove to anybody. You know, if anything, you know, I've underachieved and I would have liked to have won more. I know how good I am, so I never really have anything to prove to anybody. You know, I just enjoy playing, and that was a good to play Judd, because he's a fantastic player.
It makes such a difference to you and to your game when you're playing someone you admire and you enjoy watching and playing.
Well, he's pleasant on the eye, isn't it? When you watch someone playing snooker like that, playing the right shot, you enjoy watching them. When you play players that fud about and look around, and you know, you just feel like you want to go in a coma sometimes, you know. So at least with Judd, you actually feel like you got the best seat in the house.
3 points already for you, possibly another 3 as well, pushing you up the league table. Were you aware tonight, it wasn't necessarily alarm bells, but were you aware tonight that you did need to get as many points on the board tonight? Otherwise, going into your last match against Jimmy, it could have been difficult for you to get to the semi-finals weekend?
I mean, you can sit there and read it and analyse it to death, but at the end of the day, you just have to get wins, and if you get wins, everything takes care of itself, you know, and that's been my philosophy. And if I'd have lost tonight, I wouldn't have deserved to be in the next round. I won, so I've given myself a chance.
Okay, did go 2-all. We had a shootout frame, 10 minutes for the frame. Judd was obviously slightly unlucky. He took on a long red. The red whizzed round the table, and then the green went in. Were you aware when that green went in that it was going to be ball in hand? I mean, what an amazing opportunity for any snooker player to be able to pick the white up and put it where you want.
I wasn't aware, to be honest with you. I was looking to try and pop the red, but the ref said ball in hand. I was like, oh, okay. So it is pretty difficult to try and, you know, play one set of rules for one part of the match, and then you've got to change your mind to... So, you know, I'm not a fan of it, but you know what, it's the rules, and you have to just adapt, I suppose, isn't it?
Does it put it, you under more pressure as a professional snooker player when you've got that opportunity to put the white exactly where you want, to leave the angle on the red, to split them all open, to get on the black? Because everyone now is going to expect you to clear the table when you can do something like that. Yeah,
well, that's the whole point of it, isn't it? You get ball in hand, and it's like, here you go, you've got one chance. If you mess it up, you're a loser. You get it, well done. You was expected to win, so it puts a bit of pressure on you, but we're used to pressure.
You're in the final, Ding or Nil. Do you care? Do you mind? Do you fancy someone there?
Oh no, I don't really care, to be honest. I'm just happy to be here, happy to be playing, enjoying the crowd, enjoying the venue. So you know, it's just good to be playing and enjoying it a bit.
We're happy, you're happy. We'll see you in the final. Ronnie O'Sullivan, everyone. Thanks, Ron. Our first semi-final, the Rocket Ronnie O'Sullivan winning it by the odd frame. What a great match it was as well. 3 frames to 2, he beats Judd Trump, and those 2 points for Judd should be enough to get him into semi-finals weekend. Our second semi-final coming up next, Junhui against Neil Robertson. This is how the table looks. Neil and Ding neck and neck, third and fourth exactly on the same amount of points, 10 each. Right, let's get the boys out, and time for our second semi-final. First up, Neil Robertson.
Thank you and welcome back to the action that's coming to you live from the Guildhall, Southampton. The partypoker.com Premier League Snooker, brought to you by Matchroom Sport. We're live on Sky Sports. The best of 5 frames, referee in charge of the action, Mr. Paul Collier. Time now to meet our players. Would you please welcome from Australia, the Cure Funder from Down Under, the former champion of the world, Neil Robertson.
For me yet? Well, here I go, here I go, here I go,
Good to see you, Neil Robertson, and good for you as well, because this season 2 PTCs already under your belt. Nice to know that you've got it back again.
Yeah, I definitely think I'm playing better than what I ever have. Down to just practicing a lot more this season than I have in any other one. There's so many tournaments that you have to play in them all. So many ranking points at stake. So I think there's a lot of players playing really well.
Your last appearance in the Premier League tonight, obviously, unless you go on to the semi-final appearances. We guesstimate that at least a semi-final victory tonight will be good enough for you.
I don't know. Like what Ronnie said, you can analyse it as much as you want, but you never know until sort of the last match is complete. So I haven't had the best preparation today. It took me 5 hours to get here, so I haven't had a hit today. So just hoping to maybe win a frame tonight and see how it goes.
Ding, in a very similar situation to you, we saw the league table neck and neck between the two of you. What sort of game can we expect to see tonight, Neil?
Well, with the 20-second shot clock, you're forced to see an open game. It's always going to be attacking snooker, so it's just whoever can make the most of their chances. Obviously saw a great match tonight with Judd and Ronnie, so hopefully, this match can be just as good.
All the best. Neil Robertson, everyone. Thanks, Neil. Neil's opponent is Ding Junhui.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to meet China's number 1. It's Ding Junhui!
Hello, Ding. It's lovely to see you as always. Very much like Neil, your last appearance in the Premier League, unless you progress to the latter stages, you need a win as well tonight.
Yeah.
Do you enjoy our chats as much as I do, Ding?
Yeah, very enjoying.
What sort of game can we expect to see tonight? Because obviously, Neil, ex-world champion, you're one of the game's best players as well. But I imagine it's going to be cagey because you both need to do well.
Just enjoying it.
Okay, well, listen, always a pleasure. Best of luck. Ding Junhui, everyone. Thanks, Ding. I can assure you his snooker is a lot better than his English, and even that is better than mine. Let's join our boys in the box. Mike Hallett, and first up, Clive Everton.
Yes, he does his talking with his cue. Ding Junhui, 6th in the world rankings currently, versus Neil Robertson, currently ranked 4th.
Thank you. The first frame, Neil Robertson to break.
Robertson has recently won Players Tour Championship tournaments. Those are minor ranking events in Warsaw and Killarney. Snooker spreading very encouragingly.
Well, excellent return there from Ding. Yeah, another fascinating match between these two.
I was interested to hear Robertson say that he took 5 hours to get here, but at least he has got here. A year ago, in the last of the group stage matches, he only got to Llandudno in the nick of time to play the second match, having started the day in Cambridge rather unpromisingly.
Well, I wonder if he's gone via Manchester or something.
Well, he got off to a bad start because he took a train from Cambridge that was going in the wrong direction. But he did get there in the end and played brilliantly.
He did.
I was thinking more today actually than then via Manchester. He'd be going that way to get to London though anyway. But we shall see. He's just said he hasn't had a chance to have a knock on the table. I think he's playing a safety here. Normally he might be taking the other red on. But he's going to try and build himself into this match.
Much nastier from the jaws of the corner pocket than it would have been from the baulk line. Left the cue ball a bit short on account of that.
I could have done with that white just bouncing off the cushion a little bit more. I think you still take the black on, but it's more tricky here now. You might be able to just drop this in and go down for the red down the table. He's catching them on the way through, but he's just got it. Good shot. And that's unlucky. He's covered the intended red, or has he? I think he might just be able to get past this blue here.
8.
He's trying to cut this into the centre.
Foul. Junhui 8, Neil Robertson 4.
Well, he must have known that that was a possibility. He missed the pot on the thick side, but he was always going to be flirting with that corner pocket.
Yellow's a good target to get him behind here as well, and this looks pretty good. Nearly. Oh, he's played that one well. Around the angles. Perfect. Good return as well. Well, he's covered things on the right hand side. Might be able to see this one on the left hand side though. Well, I think he might be taking this on. Well, he came right across that. Oh, he's found the gap. How lucky was he there?
Extremely lucky.
If he collides with anything down here at all, he's bound to leave one on. He just caught just that other red came across and made the path.
Robertson got the cue ball to the ball cushion as intended. I think he was expecting the cluster of reds to stop the red he played.
Yeah, it gave Ding the chance to play this good snooker actually.
Yeah, I'm with you, Clive. He was hoping that one of those rays was going to be a stopper, but now he finds himself in trouble. Well, the question is, where do you put the cue ball here to get things safe? At speed? Well, I couldn't think of anything else.
The so-called alehouse escape. And not as bad as it could have been, actually.
Especially where the cue ball is. Well, the bleeps didn't break his concentration, and he's in.
1.
Amazing sometimes though, Clive, when there is nothing on like that, you're in trouble. You hit the ball as hard as you can. It's a 50-50 chance, and so often you get away with it.
Well, you might have done, Mike, but I don't think they generally do.
I was never that lucky. I think Willie Thorne might have been.
Five.
Nice shot. Well, having played in Killarney last week, Clive, I think all my luck has run out. It's all been used up over the years.
12.
But it's great that you still enjoy competing, Mike.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, Ding's right in here.
$20. $21. $28. $29. $36.
Well,
Dean Junhui, 36.
he would have liked to have been straighter, but I still didn't expect him to miss that.
Nor me. Yeah, you're just looking good as well. Hang on. Nearly.
There again, Robertson would normally have potted that, but didn't have the opportunity to get any practice today, to get his arm and coordination as it should be. But who knows why his journey to Southampton took 5 hours. Was it his fault in some way, or was it just circumstances?
Another chance here though.
1. $8.
Robertson didn't have the kindest kiss there. Not an easy red, this.
No, it's not guaranteed.
Time extension.
He's having to take a time extension. And also a double Q. Well, he's got the extended rest and the Q extension on the Q. Double extension, actually. He's got it. Good shot. It was worth the wait.
Yes, and another red has been nudged into a better position.
He's such a class act though, Clive, isn't he? He's just like, the way he hits the ball, it's so clean, you know, his self-confidence, his self-belief.
16.
Yes, 6 world ranking title to his name. Has
17.
never lost a final. It's such a shame that he's not better appreciated in Australia, where snooker doesn't get much in the way of media coverage, although we did in the summer have an Australian Open
24,
which was won by Stuart Bingham. The Australian snooker fraternity were all hoping that Robertson would win it, but he lost in the last 16 to Dominic Dale, 5-4.
Yeah, and it was like, I think Dominic just almost apologised for beating him, didn't he?
Well, he made Robertson's mother cry.
32.
But meanwhile, the 2010 world champion is still at the table.
33.
That's unlucky.
38.
Well, he was trying to cannon the ball that was on the cushion. That would have left him the other red to middle.
Neil Robertson, 38.
Made sure the red got past the left middle pocket. Including safety. Only 2 in it now in this opening frame.
Good shot. So is that.
Well, a shot to nothing. A little bit risky, because if the red hadn't dropped, it would have been a good chance that it would have been potable for Robertson.
Yeah, this still needs to go in though, because he's bound to leave a red on. Well done. A little bit of pressure on that one, but played it well.
8.
Well, I think you get to see enough of this to pot it. I'm just wondering if you can split that, the pink, the brown and the red there. That would help. Well, he's missed the red. Well, that was his intention. Well, he's left this to the middle, but he could be in all sorts of trouble here if Neil decides to lay the snooker.
Well, Robertson turned down the pot because he got the snooker for sure. Good hit from Ding, but to little avail.
Yeah. As always, they can go anywhere. Some days you get away with those, and others you don't. So a chance to steal this opening frame then. Still has the problem, that red near the side cushion, but he is left-handed, so it's the right side of the table for him.
Eight.
Could attempt to move the red from the side cushion.
Yeah, that's the decision to be made, isn't it? Did he play to move it, or did he play on it? He's gone to nudge it. He's done neither. Well, that's not a great shot. Not for me. I mean, it was a big
16.
target. He'll be very disappointed with that. But a good chance to lay another snooker here.
Neil Robertson, 16.
That's good.
Unless there's a path between yellow and green.
Oh, you might as well just play a little swerve. Oh, that's a bit tight, isn't it? A little swerve around the yellow to begin with, then he's going to miss the green. Well, that's a great shot. But this might pass the black. I'm not too sure, actually. If it goes, Neil will take it on. There's room there. And it's there. Well played. Now then, is he on a colour? No.
One.
Might be another snooker here.
Well, he played the shot to nothing. He was trying to get behind brown and pink in case he missed the red.
Yeah, he just wants to push the brown into the open here and lay the snooker behind the pink.
Neil Robertson, 1.
Well, I thought he might have tried to weld the white on the pink there. Oh, well played. Well, that's the difference between putting the white tight on that pink and not. Well, he's hit the right side of that yellow, but I think he's left it on. And 2 or 3 shots ago, Neil Robertson looked like he was going to win this opening frame. Perhaps not now. This is all about speed, this shot. The position on the green. Hang on, he needs a contact.
2.
And he's been a little bit fortunate, but he has the chance to take this opening frame.
Not the friendliest of angles to get really close on the brown.
Oh, which way do you play this? Top spin, do you screw off the side cushion? Gone off round 2 angles. It's not perfect, but at least he's given himself
5.
a pot on the brown to get onto the blue.
Yes, I think he'd pot this more often than not.
Needs the brown, blue and pink. Well done, bang in the middle. Well, Neil will be a little bit disappointed in losing this frame, considering the snookers he laid with the colours down there. He was pretty much in control of this frame from that last red, and he didn't lay that snooker tight to the pink, and it cost him.
14.
Robertson from 40 behind looked favourite. But now Ding adds the easy pink to lead by a frame to 0. Tonight's first semi-final started with a 139 clearance from Judd Trump, but ended with a break of 70 in the decider under shootout rules by Ronnie O'Sullivan, who thus prevailed 3-2. It's 1-0 to Junhui over Neil Robertson in the second semi-final.
Okay, Ding. Thank you. Cameras away now, please. The second frame. Ding Junhui to break.
Well, I think it's just about run on enough. Well, you can't cut that in. Just play a safety hit. Well, that's not clever. It's not there yet.
No, but the way he played that, he was always covering the red to right corner by means of the yellow and blue. He felt that the red right of picture was the danger ball.
Can you just stop the clock a minute, please? All right. Okay, right.
Hello? Clock malfunction. Ah, no. Wrong. Someone in the audience has been taken ill.
Need to get a doctor, I think.
Well, the pictures are self-explanatory. Everything stops when somebody's taken ill.
It is quite warm in the auditorium here this evening. Have to make sure in these circumstances the lady or gent is getting the proper attention.
I remember a similar incident in the 2009 World Championship when a young spectator was taken ill just as John Higgins was about to take a vital shot in the deciding frame of his second round match against Jamie Cope. Players actually left the arena. Higgins returned to cut the vital ball and go on to win not just frame and match but the championship. Well, while this situation resolves itself, we're going to take a short break.
Well, he needed to avoid the brown. Neil might be tempted with this ready on the left-hand side. There's one on the right as well. And it's this one then. Great shot. Especially with the bleeps upon him.
1.
Trademark red there from the Aussie.
By far the best player Australia's ever produced. Eddie Charlton was a great battler and reached a couple of world finals.
3.
But Robertson has got an altogether wider range of shots.
4.
Didn't expect to finish there.
Well, I think it's got a bit of a big bounce off the side cushion. Definitely played on the pink to the left corner. Could be taking the blue on here. I think he is.
Neil Robertson, 4.
Well, only 4 from that opportunity. He got a good red to get in, but then he lost position early.
Well, that was a good chance for Ding. With blue virtually hanging over the pocket, and also would have been on the pink.
So Neil gets another chance then.
1.
But he's got to go around the houses here with the cue ball. There's still 2 or 3 reds available to the right corner. Must avoid the yellow and brown. Well, that's a poor shot.
Six. Neil Robertson, 6.
So Robertson has scored only 10 from 2 good chances.
Well, I think he went for the pot there. I think it did go. He just caught the red too thin, and in that, he caught the middle jaw as well. Now, what's on for Neil? Unlucky.
1.
The pink will pop to the corner, but I'm not sure he'll take that on. Too risky.
Neil Robertson, 1.
Well, if he comes off these reds on the right hand side, it's going to be a thin contact. I think that's the only shot really. Could play the one there, the pink spot. Well, that's okay. He's avoided the blue. But there could be a shot to nothing on here. The 2 reds just behind the pink spot. He's looking at the left hand one. Could be a similar shot here for Neil. Well done. to do with carrying the ground here. Oh, not that way.
1.
But I think the yellow is still on. Good red.
Oh, he'll play on the pink here. No good playing on the black. Would tie it up, I think, because I think it would go onto its own spot. Oh!
Neil Robertson, 3.
A little tiddler escapes him.
Extended one.
It's taken Robertson 4 scoring visits to amass 14.
One. Ta. Seven. Eight.
Well, there's 1 or 2 reds in
14.
the open here. There's still a little bit of work to be done to make anything substantial.
15.
I think it's the wrong side of the pink here. Well, I didn't mess about with that one. Well, it's okay. I think this red goes. That's the red he intended to play on in the opposite corner.
21.
Yes, not in that precise manner, though. Maybe got a little bit too much left-hand side on the cue ball, which is why he had the kiss.
I think this might work out okay, Clyde, because he can split everything else from this shot.
22.
Oh, that's nice.
$27. $28. $33.
Oh, he's just checking to see if he can get on the black here, get low on the black to split the other reds.
$34.
Got the angle to run into them. Well done. Well, he's on a couple of reds there. He's got a 26-point lead. He's not quite over the line
40.
in this one yet. But it's a definite chance.
$41.
And as you mentioned, Clive, Neil Robertson has had to take 4 chances to score his 14 points. He looks a little bit out of sorts here this evening.
Can you nudge another red here in this pink? Well played. This one goes to the corner.
47.
He needs 2 reds here with colours.
48.
He'll play on the red, there's the black. Could have done with being a little bit closer to this pink. White in between the 2 reds would be ideal. Oh, hang on. He's okay. I just thought he was going to snooker himself there. This 54. One then becomes frame ball. This for 2-0. Well, he's put these together well, Clyde.
55.
Yes, he has. After Robertson has failed to make the most of his chances.
$61.
Didn't get the expected right-hand side on the cue ball to get nearer this red, but it doesn't matter with a lead like that.
61 on the frame, Ding Junhui.
So, Ding Junhui leads Neil Robertson by 2 frames to 0. Second semi-final, Ding Junhui leads Neil Robertson by 2 frames to 0. Earlier this evening, Ronnie O'Sullivan beat Judd Trump 3-2, making a 70 break in the deciding 5th frame.
Okay. Thank you. The 3rd frame, Neil Robertson to break.
Good shot. Ding can see the edge of the pack. A little bit thinner than intended, which means the cue ball's come down the table, though it's gone towards the side cushion. But I think he's actually blocked the pocket there. Well, there you go, he can see it. But this needs good cueing, because if he's going to drop this in with the black, it's too dangerous. There's one at the back of the pack here, actually, he's looking at as well. Played with the element of safety. Well, I think if Neil was 2-0 the lead, he might have had a go at the straight red, not 2-0 behind.
And not in his best form either.
No. As well, he admitted his preparation wasn't 100% today, for whatever reason.
Well, I don't know why it took him 5 hours to get from Cambridge to Southampton, but it certainly has had an adverse effect on his performance.
Yes, he's got a little bit of a history in that department, hasn't he? We've already mentioned it, actually. Llandudno last year. I think he needs to look at that, actually. He really does need to look at that. I mean, come down early morning, be here for 1, 2 o'clock, and then just relax, chill out, have a practice.
Yes, lost his passport just as he was about to set off for the German Masters last February, and arrived in Berlin with 5 minutes to spare to play his match, which he lost.
He needs a road manager then.
Well, almost fluked one, but the red that he attempted was easy enough. That might be his last shot, even though the black is tied up.
1. Four. Five.
Well, it'll be the blue here, but he could just probably nudge the pink away from the blue spot, just leave the pink in the middle of the table, or further down the table. Yes, he's just giving himself a little bit more room around the blue spot there. Black's tied up, as you can see. Plenty of reds on, but needs to put a little bit of mileage on this cue ball.
11.
Well, especially now, is the wrong side of the pink. Could take the blue to the corner. Oh, there's a pink to the centre. He's just got to negotiate the ball colours between the brown and the green with the cue ball. Well, there you go. How often do we see it?
Well, Robertson was very pleased to see it, that's for sure.
17.
He was fearing that his mistake was going to cost him a lot more than 17.
And that is the importance of getting that cue ball the right side of the ball all the time.
Junhui,
Normally,
17.
99.9% of the time these boys do that. But on occasions when their touch isn't quite there, they struggle and have to play shots to get themselves out of trouble. Well, it had to be thin, and that was very good. Touch pacey.
I note that Robertson's pot success rate so far is only 74%, which is very low for him. He's usually high 80s, low 90s, doing far more consistent. 84% of his potting attempts have found the target.
Well, it looks like he's taking this one on. Came across it.
Now, can Robertson turn the tide here?
Time extension.
Which gives him an extra 20 seconds.
Well, it's gone wrong.
Six.
It's hard work for him at the moment. Nothing's happening. When it's like that, you just have to keep battling away and hope that things turn around. But at the moment, Neil is losing position early.
Robertson, 6.
And there's no rhythm at the table. And these have gone a little bit scrappy as well, which don't help.
He's got Ding thinking here, though.
Time extension.
Well, I do believe that this red above the black will go.
So Ding's potting attempt was woefully wide of the target. I think that he was intending to strike that much thinner and get the cue ball round the table.
1.
To play it as a shot to nothing.
Yeah, well, this black will go on to the pink spot, I think. That should open up the game a little bit more, but a lot to do from here. But there's all these top stars, we keep saying it. This lad at the table, like most of them, can make something out of nothing.
8. Nine.
Well, it's about to be a role reversal for pink and black. I think he played on the one to the right corner, but still has this one
15
to the left, and he can get himself onto the black. Well, these reds are gradually opening themselves up. Oh, that's
16.
Unlucky. He's left it awkward, so he might take the blue this time.
Green wasn't on its spot, so that was a natural angle to run the cue ball round.
21.
All of a sudden, he's in prime position.
$29. 30.
Robertson is at the table because Ding attempted a shot to nothing but missed it by such a margin that it ended up with no safety element to it.
$37. 38. 45.
This is
46.
really where the hard work starts. I think he's got a good angle to go into some reds here. Possibly just connect with the left on one of the three. Well, that's perfect. Well done. Caught the other one first, but it's worked out okay.
52.
Now he should win the frame from here.
53.
And let's be honest, it wasn't straightforward at the beginning of this break.
Robertson needs one more red. And 59. It could be easier.
Nicely done. Yeah, he needed this. Well, he's got half a chance now in this second semi-final.
Well, this shows Robertson's determination as well as 66. His skill. He wants to win every match he plays. He started poorly tonight.
66 and the frame, Neil Robertson.
But he's got his game together in the nick of time to take the third frame with a break of 66. Jing still leads though by 2 frames to 1.
Okay. Thank you, the fourth frame. Ding Junhui to break.
One of the great seniors we'll be seeing over the weekend, Cliff Thorburn, now 63 years of age. He saw Robertson play the Crucible the year he won the title, and he said, sensational long potter, and he can grind a bit as well. And that's what you have to do if your game isn't fully functioning or the frames go that way.
Well, he didn't want that contact on the yellow. I always thought of Peter Ebden as the mini grinder.
One.
Well, we've seen one shootout tonight, an opening match with Judd and Ronnie. I wonder, could we be seeing a second one?
6.
Have a quick look at a red at the back of the pack there. I think that one does go, but you'll stun up half this black, leave the white purposely low. There's that red. A similar red that Ronnie took on actually in that final frame with Judd. Well, that's perfect. Pop this and open a few more.
14. $15.
Couldn't have placed it better by hand, although O'Sullivan of course did place it by hand.
No, this is a little bit straight. He needs some angle. Well, there's not much there. He created one with a stun shot.
$22.
That was a very good shot. Stun run through.
23. $30. 31.
And Robertson, after his sluggish start this evening, is starting to flow. Clinched the last frame with a well-taken break of 66.
38.
Off to a very good start in this one. And hoping to take the match to a fifth frame decider under shootout rules.
39. $46. 47.
Great shot.
54.
Well, that shot there might take us into a final frame. From nowhere, he's come alive.
Struggled that one in.
55.
Yeah, and he's run out of position. Yeah, he doesn't fancy the round, just a snooker then.
Robertson 55.
Well, a good 55 from Neil, but he'd be disappointed he didn't finish the frame there. Needs another chance. Hang on. Well, I tell you, you think you've seen it all at this game.
Pink ball. Junhui 1.
Well, Robertson had Ding helplessly snookered. I was assuming that he couldn't come to any harm. There, Ding missed the chance to leave Robertson snookered.
The chance to knock that one in. 1. Oh, he will definitely be snookered here.
Junhui 1.
Well, just a few moments ago when Neil had that red to this right corner, he only just struggled in, lost position. That was the real chance to win this frame. He might not get another one if he doesn't get these safe.
Foul and a miss.
Now then.
Junhui 5.
Well, a miss has been called, but it could go back.
Back?
I was thinking about ball in hand. It's not the shootout frame yet. Getting ahead of myself.
Not the worst replacement task for the referee Paul Collier, because blue was on its spot. He knew where the cue ball was.
Okay.
Take 2 then.
The alehouse escape contacts a red, but leaves Ding right in.
One.
Well, a little bit short of pace.
6. Seven.
A frame and match-winning clearance still on.
15.
But has finished
22.
Much nearer the red than he intended. Raising the butt of the cue so he avoids a push shot. That was very well done.
It was. He's got to avoid the brown here now to understand the red. That was a great shot. Could still win the match. Well, Neil had a couple of chances early on in this frame. I said that red that he just wobbled into this right corner, lost position. It all went wrong from there. But I mean, Ding's not over the line yet here, but it's a wonderful chance to take the match.
29.
And to be honest, it's just a question of that Neil didn't get going quick enough.
That's quite true. And also, this frame started to turn when Ding fluked a red out of a snooker.
34.
I think the key here would be black, pink to black, because he needs them all. So it's just a question of how he gets 36. On the pink. Green, brown and blue will put 39. The scores level. So again, it will be all about pink to black.
Well, well, well.
Ding Junhui, 39.
Well, that's the sort of shot he wouldn't miss once a year. Dead straight, point blank range. Don't know what he was thinking about. Fortunately for Ding, he left the brown safe.
Well, I'm down the line of this one, and Neil can see this brown. He can chip it in. There's room past this pink.
Time extension.
No wonder he's taking his time extension. He wants to make sure of this one. He's also got to get good position on the blue. The white's flying around the table. That's the first part done. Now then, has he got the pace? It's looking good. It looks perfect.
4.
Well, this is frame ball to take us into a second shootout this evening.
Nine.
Ding had a wonderful chance on the brown.
He certainly did. But it's Neil Robertson who takes the
15
frame.
And the frame, Neil Robertson.
To take the second semi-final into the second 10-minute shootout of the evening with the scores at 2-all. So just to recap again on the shootout rules. The frame will not exceed 10 minutes. There will be a 20 seconds time limit for the first 5 minutes, only 15 seconds for the remaining 5 minutes. On every shot, a ball must either be potted or make contact with a cushion. All fouls will be penalised by the non-offender having the right to place the cue ball wherever he likes, and no time extensions will be permitted. I'm just casting my mind back to the one-frame shootout in Blackpool where Robertson beat Alan McManus by making a 37 break in 46 seconds.
No, for any cushion other than top cushion, it's a foul.
But
thank you, ladies and gents.
The players string or lag for break.
Oh, that's a close one. That looks bob on with each other. Well, in fact, Neil was just pointed towards Ding.
Yeah. Deciding frame under shootout rules. Ding Junhui to break.
the second shootout frame of the evening. The first one saw Judd Trump unluckily knock the green in attempting a long red. O'Sullivan placed the cue ball wherever he wanted and made 70 from it.
Well, that's great cueing because there's hardly any room there past that other red.
Four. Five.
Well, he could have done with that white just travelling a little bit further, so we could have got this end of the cue ball. In fact, I think the pink goes, so he's okay. This might have to go on to the brown spot. Nope. There's enough room there.
11.
Well, you'll play the pink here and try and scatter the reds. You'll have to hurry. It's there. Just glanced off them. He's in prime position now. If he's got the right angle here just to hold for the black, this is a great chance.
The time starts from when the referee places the colour on its spot.
19.
Nice cannon.
$26. 27.
I think, no disrespect to Neil here, Clive, but I think on the form of the two players this evening, I think it'd be probably fair if Ding went through in this one.
Yes, maybe. Overall,
34.
Robertson's made a great fight of it, though, from 2-0 down.
Oh, absolutely. But will he get another
35.
chance?
And if he does, it'll be on the basis not of 20 seconds a shot, but 15, for most of it anyway.
Hang on, hang on. He's going to get another chance. He's gone too far. He snookered himself.
42. Junhui 42.
Well, he was trying to lay the snooker. Good 42, but will it be enough? We're nearly coming up to 5 minutes, and as Clive has just mentioned, we go down to 15 seconds a shot. Of course, from Neil's point of view, first of all, he's got to get in, and will he have enough time left? Great shot.
Five minutes remaining, 15 seconds a shot.
The 5-minute bell.
Well, shorter than intended. I think Neil's eyeing this red up to the corner pocket. Well, again, it's one of those. There's plenty of points on, but is there enough time?
It'll be under 4 minutes by the time Ding takes his shot.
And of course, from Ding's point of view, every time he's at the table, he's got those 15 seconds. He'll take those 15 seconds. Oh, but what a way to get in.
1.
But he's got to hurry.
And he mustn't miss.
Well, he did say, well, he made a 37 break in how many seconds was it?
46 seconds.
Oh, he needs something
6.
similar here. And I think I was, doing that match. There was when he connect. Oh, hang on, he's got a kick. He's got the red, but he's
7.
left himself high in the black. Well, this has to go in. No.
Neil Robertson 7.
So that looks like the end of Robertson's challenge for this evening, but a thunderous kick. Very unlucky.
One.
So my prediction's right again here this evening then,
8.
Clive?
If you put any money on it, Mike, it wouldn't have been.
Listen, I know somebody who has put money on it. He's got a new conservatory on the strength of it. He's gone totally the opposite way that I've suggested, but I just fancied the other two boys tonight, but Ronnie's played
16.
well to come through against Judd, and Ding also here. Didn't matter who came through here this evening. 4 quality players as they all are in the field, and it's going to be a cracking final.
Yes, under 2 minutes to play now. Ding 50 odd in front.
24.
Robertson ruining the kick which cost him his last chance.
25. 32. 33.
So Ding Junhui won the first 2 frames.
40.
Dropped the next 2.
41.
But with breaks of 42. And this effort has run away with the decider under shootout rules.
48.
Probably knock this in as well. It's not far away. Ah, easy game this.
Who needs more than 15 seconds?
Look at the top spin there. Incredible shot.
56.
Hang on, it's not finished yet. Oh, he's not going to go again now. 58.
So, a great finish from Ding Junhui. Breaks of 42 and 58 give him the deciding frame. He beats Neil Robertson by 3 frames to 2 and will play Ronnie O'Sullivan in the final in a few minutes.
Yeah, welcome back to the partypoker.com Snooker Premier League. 2 semi-finals done and dusted. The Rocket, Ronnie O'Sullivan, beat Judd Trump by the odd frame, 3 frames to 2, as did Ding Junhui, beat Neil Robertson by the same scoreline. So we have a final of the Rocket against Ding, and this is how the current league table currently stands. Judd Trump, although he lost tonight, he got 2 important frames, which is why he is top of the table at the moment. Mike Hallett joins me now. Mike, wonderful matches. We all like to see the shootout. We'll start briefly with Ronnie's game against Judd. Who could have predicted that result?
Well, I've taken the other 2 players, of course, as usual. My prediction has been good. Absolutely. I mean, Ronnie needed to perform tonight, and he did do. He came out fighting. I mean, when Judd knocked that 139 in, I thought, well, here we go. But he showed a lot of resilience there, and as all these top players do, when they've got their backs to the wall, they tend to come out and perform, and he certainly did that.
I asked the question to him after the match if he felt he had a point to prove. He said not really. Do you believe that, or do you think even subconsciously, whilst he was sat down there and the new boy in town starts off by knocking a near perfect 139 in, he maybe was thinking, I'm Ronnie O'Sullivan, I'm the people's favourite, I want to be doing that?
Ronnie's got nothing to prove to anybody, of course. He'd like to have won more tournaments of the Hours, again by his own admission, but he wants to be in that last 4 at the end of the month, there's no doubt about that, and he's given himself a certain chance now with his performance tonight, and he showed again not just the talent but what he wanted. He wanted it tonight, he was hungry.
He plays in the final, of course, Ding Junhui, who also won by the odd frame, and proving a very good point as well that Ronnie O'Sullivan may be able to play left and or right-handed, but Ding only needs one arm to pot the yellow. Wonderful shot.
Well, of course, the clock was going down. It didn't matter, the frame and match was over by then, but good exhibition shot there from Ding Junhui, and nice to see him have a smile on his face as well. He was enjoying it out there tonight, but this is going to be a cracking final between these 2. They're both playing well.
Dare I ask who you think will win it? And whatever you say, I'll probably bet on the opposite.
Well, yeah, if you can get on. I'm saying nothing. From now on, I'm saying nothing.
Go on, pick a winner, Mike.
No, I can't. Go on, then. I'm going to go for Ronnie tonight, because I think he wants it.
So join us after the break where we see Ding successful in tonight's Premier League final.
2, 3, 4, 5.
Break down, baby.
Welcome back to partypoker.com Snooker Premier League, and we have a final on our hands. The defending champion, the Rocket, Ronnie O'Sullivan, up against Ding Junhui. So let's meet our finalists, and first up is Ding Junhui.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the action, coming to you live from the Guildhall, Southampton. It's the partypoker.com Premier League Snooker. Well, it's time now to meet our winners. Would you please welcome back China's number 1, Ding Junhui. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Please welcome back the reigning and defending Premier League champion, the one, the only, the Rocket, Ronnie O'Sullivan!
Mike Hallett and Clive Everton will talk you through tonight's final.
Well, we've already talked through 2 fifth frame deciders under shot clock, or rather shootout rules.
Okay, cameras away now, please.
Going to be doing
frame
that again.
Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
At the end of this evening's final.
Well, I just wonder this time if the pips did get to him. Doesn't seem to have left anything on though. Let's not forget as well, Clive, that Ronnie's had a little bit of time to relax and chill out, and Ding straight back in action. Is that good or bad?
Well, I think it gives O'Sullivan a slight advantage because in such a dramatic, exciting finish as a 10-minute shootout, I think you need just a few minutes to recover from that. O'Sullivan has had a good hour and a half.
It's like making a maximum, isn't it? You know, you're on a high for making the maximum, but it only wins one frame. You have to concentrate on the next one as well. Well, now often do we see players lose the next frame after that? Nice little nudge on the yellow. Both players just jockeying position here. There might be a red here actually that Ronnie can take on. Possible pot to nothing, or shot to nothing to the left corner. Too thin. At least he knew where the white was going. That's a good return.
Yes, with a shot like that, I think most players sense that the safety is more important than the pot. If you're going to miss it thin.
Now then, where's this red going to finish? It's not too bad. Well, Ronnie might try and get screwing the white in behind the brown here. Looking to leave the white there. He's just trying to mask the right hand side of those reds as we look down the table. Yeah, that's clever. He's got him wrong side, but unfortunately that red he's played is the ball that Dingnall will now play a safety off. Get through the gap there. Well, a touch thinner than intended, but a nice collision into the brown. Well, the red to the left side is potable, but there's no percentage in that one. Well, at least that's got the black open.
As this opening safety duel approaches 4.5 minutes.
Better, but he's out of position, so he just play off the brown here and behind the green, I think.
Ronnie O'Sullivan 1.
Well, I think he's caught the pink. Well, he would have done it, hit it.
Ronnie O'Sullivan 4.
A really bad mistake there. He was trying to hit the reds below the pink and he's left everything on. A massive misjudgment.
Misjudgment of direction, misjudgment of pace.
1.
And let's not forget, a couple of shots ago that black was opened up as well. Black, if Ronnie can get this black on its own spot early, this is a good chance.
6. 7. $14. 15. $22. $23.
At the beginning of the evening, Clive, Ronnie was in a bit of trouble, wasn't he, in the table? He's rescued that in that first semi-final. We'd like to put this final away as well, just to make sure.
He does have one more group phase match to come, but
30.
he may not need it in terms of points.
$31.
Yes, he's playing the Whirlwind, Jimmy White, on the 17th of this month, I should say, in Grimsby.
$38.
So this was definitely an important evening for him, and he's responding.
39.
Well, it's gone a little bit wrong, but he still has the red down the cushion.
46. $47.
Talk about the shot clock on the right for these lads, these players, Clive. Let's not
55.
forget about the referee as well. Our referee Paul Collier does a fantastic job, doesn't he? Because he's got to be on the ball as well all the time, with breaths and extensions and what have you, especially with his shot clock.
61. 62.
Has refereed a world final.
Yeah, so he's a little bit under the cosh.
69.
Does a great job. And Ronnie's doing a great job
70.
here.
Yes, already well past the post in this opening frame.
Well, he wanted a thicker contact. Frame one, might take the red down the
77.
cushion to try and make the century. That's not far away.
77 on the frame, Ronnie O'Sullivan.
And with that 77 break, Ronnie O'Sullivan leads Junhui by a frame to nil. Ronnie O'Sullivan leads Ding Junhui by a frame to nil in this evening's final, both having come through fifth frame deciders in the semis.
We to break.
could attempt the pot, knowing there was a natural angle round behind the back of the black.
That's better. Good opener.
1.
Well, what a great shot that is. I mean, he could have just played the gentle cannon, chose to open them up, killed the white dead. Terrific.
8. Nine.
When players of this class open the balls like that, no matter how early in the frame it is, you're starting to think this can be the winning visit in this frame.
And when they're on form, more often than not, it is.
16. $17. $23. 24.
At this stage, Junhui would be quite happy to do enough to win the frame, but once he has, another issue would come into play. There's £1,000 prize for the highest break of the evening. Currently it's 139 by Judd Trump in the opening frame of his semi-final against Ronnie
31.
O'Sullivan. Ding could potentially exceed it.
$32. $37.
Well, I think he's just tried to pinch a bit there to glance off those reds. And unfortunately, those don't go in.
No, he was concentrating so much on the cannon that he omitted to pot the ball.
1.
So far from winning the frame at that visit, and even further from setting a new target for the highest break prize. He's given O'Sullivan a chance.
Hang on though, hang on.
Foul.
Which has come to a very
Ronnie
unlucky
O'Sullivan
conclusion.
1, Junhui 7. Clean away. One.
Well, you can never legislate for that when you're going into the pack to push a red into a middle pocket. Okay, if it's a plant or something like that, then fair enough.
6. 7. 14.
It's very ineffective.
15. 22. 23.
'No, has he gone too far here?
30.
On the red, on the straighter red. Yeah, he's having to play one of those just above the black.
But it's of academic interest because Ding is well past the winning post.
30 and the frame, Ding Junhui.
So although Ding needed 2 chances, breaks of 37 and 30 have given him the frame and enabled him to level the match at 1-all.
He got away with a break-off shot there. He's covered that red. Went down the table with the green. That's not great. He's pushed the red over the corner.
It was more or less a natural to avoid the bunch.
Four. Five.
Not sure whether he can hold for the black here.
$13.
Well, there's a loose red on the side of the pack. This one on the top cushion as well. But Ronnie
18.
might go into them off this next blue. I think he might want
19.
these open. Possible little power stun into the pink. No, he's decided to hold for the loose one, but he's played it in such a way that he'll definitely be opening the reds now.
24.
Great shot.
25.
And he's got the right side of the blue. Tremendous talent, that Clive, just to switch hands and play a shot like that.
$30. 31.
Whoa, well, I don't think that was a kick.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 31.
No, human error. Took it for granted, maybe.
Yep, that was just carelessness.
1. $8.
He lost the white there.
9.
That's poor. Might not even take this on. He could play the safety off of one of the colours. Well, he is going for the extra 7 points. Can't get onto a red though. Well, he's tried to.
Wow.
Well, I didn't expect him to play it at that pace, but unlucky to find the middle of the pocket, because it was a great pot from there. I think he probably thought that he had him just enough angle to try and nudge those reds, but no damage done.
Well, he certainly didn't punish O'Sullivan as much as we were expecting after O'Sullivan had missed that straight black from its spot.
Well, that's better. And again, it wasn't a great safety shot from Ronnie O'Sullivan. He didn't want to collide into the yellow. Now then, just as green past the yellow. I think it does. That was an excellent red. Needs to pass the blue. Well, it's still on, but we've seen some great snooker already this evening, Clive. There's still a possible 2 more frames after this one. 2 shootouts already. Could there be another one?
Time extension.
Nice recovery, and he's got them open now.
5.
Yeah, that was an important shot, and wise to take the extension.
An even more important shot was the black from its spot that O'Sullivan won when he that O'Sullivan missed when he was right in with 31. Didn't punish him much immediately, but from a second chance it looks as if he's going to.
$17. $18.
Well, again, this is not straightforward here.
24.
To win the frame at this visit. Just that little tricky red down the cushion and one near the side cushion.
25.
He'll get rid of this one on the top cushion. Leave himself an angle on the black to drop in behind that one on the side cushion.
$32. Junhui 32.
How often do we see those missed?
And again, Ding was concentrating primarily, it seemed to me, in getting an angle on the black to possibly cannon the last red.
So, an unexpected chance then for Ronnie.
8.
Key shot.
Wow, look at that. And left hand with dead weight.
Should win the frame now.
Shouldn't be allowed.
$16.
And he's up to and including the brown. Whoa, he's been a little bit fortunate there.
Well, particularly as I never dreamt that he would miss the yellow.
Foul. A miss. Ronnie O'Sullivan, 4.
Just flicked the green on the way through.
Yeah, Ronnie not having this put back because he feels that Ding could see some of that yellow. That's why he wanted to play the shot himself. But he leads by 17 then. Ding Junhui needs all of these. Good shot. Oh, these are always awkward when you got the object ball tight to the cushion. Well, I think he's got the snooker on the diagonal. And to come off the side cushion. He's got to get this safe. Nearly potted it. It's okay though.
But that isn't.
Would have been okay if the pink went tight to the cushion, but it hasn't. But this still needs a good shot here. It needs good cueing with the rest to get anywhere near the green.
Two.
Well, I just wonder whether he might go for this. He's looking at the potting angle. He could just float this in, bring the white off back and side cushions. Well played.
5.
Well, Ronnie had a good chance on the yellow, missed that shot left-handed. He played a poor safety shot there, when really he was looking like leading 2-1. It looks like he's going 2-1 behind, but Ding has got the wrong side of the blue, so he needs to negotiate the white in and out of bulk. Just top spin.
Well,
these are always tricky. He's just going to cut this in, but he's got to make sure he gets position on the final black. No problem. Well, let's be honest,
20.
This really should have been Ronnie's frame. He missed that yellow.
And as it is, Ding Junhui wins the frame on the black and leads Ronnie O'Sullivan by 2 frames to 1. With Ding Junhui leading Ronnie O'Sullivan by 2 frames to 1 in this evening's final. O'Sullivan can't win it unless he takes it to a 5th frame, which would be the 3rd 10-minute shootout of the evening.
Great shot. Just gone too far though. Well, does he lay the snooker or does he take the brown on? Well, I think he's trying to power this in and get onto a red. Wow, wonderful. What can you say?
Well, you said it actually, Mike. Wonderful.
Well, you know, it's one of those, wasn't it? I mean, that could have lost him the match, actually. But it could win in this frame and put us into a 3rd shootout this evening. Great, brown.
6.
I
think there's a little bit of needle behind that brown in the middle there, Clive, having missed that yellow in the previous frame. He wants to win this frame at one visit.
11.
What happens between these two? We've had a great evening snooker.
12.
It's got the slight angle, I think. There's still a red at the back of the pack there. Caught the knuckle. He won't be happy.
17.
It looked dead straight. He thought he could just make a slight angle. It turned out he couldn't.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 17.
Well, again, you have to avoid those baulk colours. There's a half chance here for Ding Junhui, and he can get onto the black.
No harm done. Trying to get behind brown and green, I would have thought. Well, perhaps not with the assist from the yellow.
What can you say?
1.
Simply great cueing.
Well, just a run-of-the-mill pot with a little bit of backspin on the cue ball.
We're screwing back to safety in case he missed it.
He's lost the white there, though. He's out of position. There was a couple of reds he could have played on. Can he see enough of this one to cut it in? Wow. Just got a little bit on the thin side.
Ding Junhui, 3.
Well, there's a few claps in the audience, but I can tell you that he knows he's left this red on. A shake of the head, and there's two options. He's playing the one there as the corner pocket. Unlucky to finish there.
Did well to regain position there.
He's been flirting with a few of those pockets with the cue ball. On a couple of occasions have gone in, but that one really turned out beautifully. What a chance this is.
Yes, one factor in whether the cue ball goes close or in the pocket
12.
from that sort of shot is what sort of side of the pocket the ball is potted into.
13.
Well, if my predictions are correct this evening, Ding should win the match here. Three played, 3 down.
20. $21. 28.
Had the cue ball cleaned in his own time to minimise the risk of a kick.
$36. $37.
Ding seems to be closing in on victory.
$42. $43.
That was a kick as well. That black went into the corner of the pocket.
50.
Definitely jumped off the spot, but he's okay. This will open up the other two reds. Well, I just wondered again at the beginning of this match whether that coming straight back on into this final, Clive, might have affected Ding, but obviously he's still on automatic pilot, so he was match fit, so to speak.
Yes, he did drop the first frame of this match.
56.
Joe O'Sullivan's break of 77.
57.
But he won the second frame with a couple of 30s. He won the third on the black by clearing the colours.
62.
And now he's added the match
63.
clincher.
$68. 69. $74. 76.
If Ding clears the table, he would round off a very entertaining evening with a century. But I don't think he could quite get through to the potting angle on the green. Nevertheless, that 76 break completes the entertainment. Junhui beats Ronnie O'Sullivan by 3 frames to 1 in this evening's final.
Confirmation of our results tonight. The Rocket Ronnie O'Sullivan beating Judd Trump by 3 frames to 2. Ding Junhui winning his semi-final by that same scoreline, 3-2. And as we've just seen in the final, the Rocket Ronnie O'Sullivan nicking a frame but only 1 tonight. Another point for him though, but Ding Junhui gets maximum points. Let's have a look at the league table. Ding Junhui tops it now, 16 points. Judd Trump on 14 points. Ronnie O'Sullivan in 3rd place on 12, and Neil Robertson also on 12 points. Remember, the top 4 go through to semi-finals weekend, which is at the end of November.